Hi my lovies, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my tanning routine video. An awful lot of people ask me to do tanning routine videos and what tan do I use, what do I recommend. So I'm going to cover all of that in today's video. So the reason why it's taken me so long to do a tanning routine video is because I haven't worn false tan or fake tan or self tanner in about 18 months. I was on holidays. Fortunately, I got to go on a couple of holidays last year, so it was great and my skin was topped up with my tan. Obviously, it's dead skin turning brown. It's not good for you either because the sun can cause cancer. We know all of this. I see absolutely no issue in self-tanner. I want to say a huge thank you to Bondi Sands, today's sponsor. Thank you so much for working with me on this video. I absolutely adore this tan and this is the tan that I used today. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I prep and how I apply Bondi Sands self-tanner. Bondi Sands is actually Australian owned and it's one of the top sellers when it comes to self-tanner, and I understand why because it is so amazing. You can buy Bondi Sands directly from their website or you can buy it in Boots or Superdrug. There's a couple of other places you can get it. I will list them all in the description bar below. I love the way self-tan makes me feel. I just feel really fresh. I just think it gives your complexion a little bit of a glow. I never used the ultra dark tan. That's what this one is today. That was the first time that I ever used it the other day. I used to use the dark tan. It also comes in a white bottle as well, which is the light to medium, I believe. And I never ever use that one because I like to be quite bronze. But if you have fairer skin, I recommend to go with the light to medium one. Okay, so let's get into my tanning routine and the steps that I take. The first step I always recommend to anybody who wants to self-tan is to hop in the shower. Do not put self-tanner on a dirty, grubby body. It just won't turn out properly and it won't last as long. I usually get my self-tanner to last about 7 days and it will look pretty decent for 7 days. I do recommend the mitt from Bondi Sands. They have an exfoliating mitt. I recommend to remove any dead skin, especially around the elbows, the knees, the ankles, the wrists, around the hand area, around the neck. If it clings to those areas and starts coming off really badly, it's just a dead set giveaway that you're wearing tan. The thing I like about Bondi Sands is it actually fades. It doesn't come off patchy, so the tan just fades and fades and fades back to your natural skin tone. So you have to be really careful with exfoliating to make sure that you get all the dead skin cells off, because it will cling to those dead skin cells, and then when those dead skin cells flake off, because I mean your skin does shed all the time, you would be left with kind of patches on your skin. So that's why I highly recommend to exfoliate while you're in the shower. I use the Bondi Sands exfoliating glove because I just find it's the best. The black side is for when you are just exfoliating clean skin. The blue side is for when you're trying to remove your tan. The next step is to hop out of the shower and dry off evenly. Make sure that you don't have wet skin when you apply the tan, as it'll just kind of dilute it down and you'll be left with patches. So the next step that I highly recommend is to moisturize certain areas on the skin. I use any sort of moisturizer. I like a fragranced one. It doesn't really matter, whatever one that works with your skin. I usually recommend moisturizing around the areas as well that the tan can cling to. So particularly around the hands, around the ankles, knees, elbows. So all your kind of joints and things like that. The next step is very self-explanatory. It's applying the tan. So to apply my tan, I recommend a mitt. Mitts are much better than applying it with your hand or applying it with maybe a rubber glove, you know, one of those disposable kind of medical gloves. I used to use them back in the day, but I find that a mitt like this works amazingly well. You get an even spread of the tan. I also want to say actually about the Bondi Sands tan, it actually has the most amazing scent ever, and even smelling it now, it brings me right back to when I used to use it a couple of years ago, and it smells like Malibu. So it just reminds me of being on holidays. So you smell amazing. I use a mitt like this, so you can see it's a big long mitt, to actually do my back. I find that's one of the most difficult areas to get. So I will apply the tan to the center of the mitt and I kind of rub it together, and then I rub it along my back to make sure that I get an even coat. Obviously you can ask somebody to give you a hand, but you might be doing this on your own, and a mitt like this helps so much. I find it looks like an oven mitt, like when you're taking stuff out of the oven, but it works a dream. When I'm applying my tan, I will put a couple of pumps onto the mitt and then I will spread it evenly. That way you can actually see if you have enough tan on a certain area. This has a color guard so you can see exactly where the tan is going, but also it will avoid any streaks, so you can kind of get an even coat of the tan. I usually leave the hands in the feet to last, so whatever is left on the mitt, I will put that on my hands and feet. I will just avoid too much tan going to those areas and looking really obvious. Just make sure that you take your time when applying your tan. Check that you have everywhere. If you have a full length mirror, great, so you can see your back and the back of your legs as well. Also be careful when you're doing the collarbone. I usually recommend to push your collarbone back so then you can get an even coat of the tan onto the collarbone. Take your time when it comes to the wrists and ankles. Sometimes I usually recommend a brush. A little brush might be really helpful. Just put some tan onto the brush and kind of brush it around the areas, the smaller areas. I just want to mention, guys, when you are doing the fingers, make sure that you rub the brush around the fingers and bend your fingers as well so you can get right into the knuckles. Also, the brush is great for doing the neck as well, because I find I never get that even, and around your cleavage and the collarbones. When it comes to the face and applying tan, you can of course apply tan to the face, but just be careful. We don't want to tangerine tint our face, so just again go in with the brush perhaps and apply to your face if you so want. So once I'm relatively happy with the way the tan looks, I will then go and chillax for a little while. So I will usually give it about 3 to 4 hours to develop. It gets a little bit darker over the next couple of hours, so I will usually edit, I'll reply to emails, I'll relax, I'll go on to Snapchat, I will, you know, check out what's on TV. I will usually give it a bit of time to develop, but I do find with the Bondi sands it doesn't transfer as much as other tans, so that's why I actually do really like it. So then you go and wash it off and you're left with the tan like this. So I've just had one shower. Obviously I tanned yesterday, I washed it off after about 5 hours, and this is the color I'm left with. So I like this golden kind of bronze look. It just looks like I've been to the beach, and I just think it looks really fresh and nice on my skin. The Bondi Sands tan that I use is a mousse. You can also get it in spray forms, or another one that I have here is actually a moisturizer. So this is a gradual tanner. This actually smells really nice as well. So you apply this every day like your moisturizer, and over the course of a couple of days it will develop, and then you just keep applying more every time you get out of the shower, and you're left with a lovely natural tan. I find that using a gradual tanner like this one is also an amazing option. It's kind of just another kind of different way of tanning, I suppose. Okay guys, I think I covered everything in my tanning routine. I absolutely love the glow that I have right now. I haven't worn tan, like I said, in well over a year, and it just feels amazing to have a nice color again. I just feel really fresh and healthy with it. I don't know, it's definitely a state of mind, but when you look in the mirror and you just see your little bronze body, I just feel great about it. So guys, definitely check out Bondi Sands. They are an Australian company and they are one of the best tans in my opinion, and I'm 100% going to keep up my tanning routine now. Guys, if you have any questions about anything I covered in today's video, then please let me know down below and I will answer them. And thank you again so much to Bondi Sands for working with me on this video. It's amazing to actually get to work with such an awesome brand. Thank you so much for noticing me and working with me, and thank you so much guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to all you guys in my next video. I love you all so much. Mwah! Bye!